Hey guys, welcome back to the Oilers Fanatic. Over the past while, I've put together some Edmonton Oilers trade proposal videos to share with you guys and get your thoughts on. Today I'll be sharing the third volume in that series. In volumes 1 and 2, I covered such players as Marc-Andre Fleury, Phil Kessel, Scott Wedgwood, Ben Chiarot, and more. I've provided links to volume 1 and 2 in the description below, and you'll also find a link to volume 2 at the end of this video. In today's video, I'm going to focus on a single player as there is a lot involved. I want to cover the recent speculation surrounding Carey Price of the Montreal Canadiens possibly being moved to the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously there has been nothing concrete on this, but well-known insider Pierre LeBrun has been quoted as saying Price would be a great fit for the Oilers, and it has people talking and speculating. Colorado is another potential destination for Price. Price hasn't played yet this season, taking needed time off through the NHL Player Assistance Program. He has begun skating though, and looks to be making a return in early 2022. So let's say Carey Price returns. He looks great, and the Montreal Canadiens, who just went through a regime change with the firing of Marc Bergevin and hiring of Jeff Gordon, want to move on from Price and use the assets to begin a rebuild. What are the Oilers inheriting in Carey Price? A 34-year-old goaltender that carries a cap hit of $10.5 million for this season and the next 4 years to come. Let's look at his goals against average and save percentage over the past 3 seasons. In 2018-2019, he had a goals against average of 2.49, a save percentage of .918, and 66 games played. In 2019-2020, he had a goals against average of 2.79, a save percentage of .909 in 58 games played, and in 2020-2021, he had a goals against average of 2.64 and a save percentage of .901 in 25 games played. In last year's playoffs, he had a goals against average of 2.39 and a save percentage of .919 in 22 games played. Let's compare those numbers to Mikko Koskinen. In 2018-2019, he had a goals against average of 2.93 and a save percentage of .906 in 55 games played. In 2019-2020, he had a goals against average of 2.75, a save percentage of .917 in 38 games played. In 2020-2021, he had a goals against average of 3.17 and a save percentage of .899 in 26 games played. And so far in 2021 and 2022, in 14 games played, he has a goals against average of 2.82 and a save percentage of .914. Overall, their numbers have actually been pretty close, aside from a down year last year for Mikko. If someone asks you who the better goaltender is career-wise, obviously it's Carey Price. But based on recent history, is Carey Price really a big upgrade on Mikko Koskinen? It has to be noted that Price helped take the Montreal Canadiens to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. No small feat, but is it enough? Let's say both sides want to move forward with a deal. How could it work? What would Montreal want in return? If this is your first visit to the channel, and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content, including game reviews and the latest news and rumors. To start, the only way this is remotely possible is if Montreal retains 50% of Price's cap hit. That would make Price a $5.25 million cap hit for both the Oilers and Habs for the next 5 years. Here is a hypothetical trade. To the Edmonton Oilers, Carey Price with 50% retained salary by Montreal. To Montreal, Mikko Koskinen, who has a $4.5 million cap hit expiring this year. Dylan Holloway, a former teammate of young Montreal star Cole Caulfield with the Wisconsin Badgers, and of course Edmonton's 2020 first-round draft pick. He carries a cap hit of $925,000 for 2 more years. Kyler Yamamoto, who has a $1.175 million cap hit expiring this year, and another former first-round pick in 2017 for the Oilers. I would also add on a conditional 2023 second-round draft pick. The condition would be that the 2023 second becomes a first if the Oilers reach the Stanley Cup Final. Something like that. I pondered trying to put someone like Tyson Barrie in this deal, but with Montreal already retaining 50%, it wouldn't make any sense for them to add Barrie at $4.5 million for 2 more years, when they are likely only looking for young players in return. Koskinen's $4.5 million salary would cover off most of Price's $5.25 million cap hit for this season. The Oilers can likely find a way to maneuver the remaining $750,000, but for the next 4 years to come, things become a lot more complicated. The Oilers have Mike Smith and Stuart Skinner under contract for next season. Skinner requires waivers to be sent to Bakersfield, so the Oilers don't want to risk that. There have been injury concerns with Smith, so he could possibly end up on long-term injured reserve, but there's no guarantee. If he does, that frees up $2.2 million, still leaving over $3 million for the Oilers to cover off for Price's cap hit. Some money is there next year, but the Oilers will need it more for other areas of the lineup. If Smith isn't on long-term injured reserve, I just don't see any way for the Oilers to make it work and still find money to re-sign key players like Jesse Puljujarvi. Maybe the Oilers could look at a three-way deal to spread the cap around, or maybe attempt to trade Price again in a couple years. Basically, it all boils down to the fact that this trade would be incredibly difficult to make work for both sides. I don't know if the Habs can make any trade for Carey Price work unless they retain or take a lot of salaries back. And if they are taking salaries back, what's the point? If they do a rebuild, it might be nice to have Price there to mentor anyway. For the Oilers, it's a salary cap headache they don't need. If Price's contract was done at year's end, or even had 2 more years, I'd say go for it. With another 4 years to go, it's a hard pass for me. I like Price for sure, but I think there are just too many hoops to jump through. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Thanks as always for checking out the channel and for all your support. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Fanatic Rundown.